How do you even already know what I'm talking about? Aikido. So Aikido, you'd play Ox here or here? Let's start let's start looking at candidate options here. Somebody okay, there are a few YouTube comments. I went through this game and stopped it right here. Where I am supposed to make a move, and um I'm 53 points behind. This is an NWL 2020 game against Barbara Bultz. And you can see the rack here in the corner. If that's too little, let me know. But it's my turn to move. I'm looking at what my opponent has in the end game, and I'm seeing that what can't I allow, basically. And I felt that I could not allow a play such as liner through this E. Like, for example, if I were to play OHM or whatever, something like that, and she plays something like liner, she has IN, and I can't stop her from going out. So I can play Lux, and then she plays IN wherever, and she wins. So what I'm thinking is, whatever I do, I probably would like that to interfere with the play of liner or niner or whatever. Because this to me seems like the most obvious way to play the game for my opponent. In an endgame, it is extremely important to be the first person to use all of your tiles. And everybody after a certain level in competitive play knows this, knows that they want to be looking for what we call outs in two. However, there comes a point in the game where you're in this position and you're like, okay, well, how am I supposed to block this? Like, how do I even interfere with this and still try to win the game? Like, if I were to play something like, um, hmm, let's say I play or let's say I play ohm here. That interferes with everything. However, I'm down 29 points. Let's say she plays grill. Then what? I can play axe. That's really nice. Now I'm down 6. Now she has in on her rack. So she's obviously going to do something like Lin. And I can go out with Ut. And I lose by 7. So that's a good attempt. And now you have to be in this position calculating all these lines. But ohm is a great attempt because it interferes with the outs in 2. It lets you go out first, but it falls just short of just basic obvious plays that opponent will make. In any case, there are a million different options here, and we have a suggestion in chat. I want to address the YouTube comments that I had first. One of the comments said that I should play ox here. Now, pod is not a word. And when I said, well, pod isn't a word, the commenter in question said, well, I don't know your opponent. Maybe they'll let this word go. And I didn't say anything to that. But to that I will respond. This is a valid idea. It's not going to work because after a certain point, somebody knows that POTE isn't a word. I don't know what that point is. Things can get in the way of challenging this, but if I was super desperate, I might try this for the 1% chance maybe that it doesn't get challenged. But my opponent is a longtime player, plays tons of Scrabble, knows that this isn't a word. 100%. So knowing your opponent is another thing. We can run this, and I'm not going to. I'm going to run it at the end of this study. We can run the engine, the computer, to see if the computer has any suggestion. But I'm almost certain that there's no way to actually win this endgame if Barbara plays the right moves after whatever I do. And because of that, it becomes even trickier because you're not trying to find the best play. You're trying to find the trickiest play. You're trying to find the chance that you have to induce a mistake. And so yeah, the idea of playing a phony word is a great one because then it's incumbent upon your opponent to make the right decision to challenge said word. Sometimes in a position where as long as you don't challenge a word, you know that you're winning the game. Sometimes you'll get away with these words, but that doesn't mean you're winning. That just means your opponent's letting you get away with the moral victory of making a phony word because they have something more important in mind. They just want to win the game. So, the idea of blocking this E is very difficult to assume that that would ever work. But ohm, I think, is the best way to try and do that. Basically, the reason I think this position is not winnable, not only because I'm down 53, is just because opponent has, say if you play Ox or something, opponent has this move, Lipin. The problem with Lipin is that there are outplays everywhere. Nor, earn, nor, ran. So if they know this word Lipin, that is their ticket to win in so many different scenarios. And the only way to block Lipin, again, is to play ohm in this spot. And we just saw that that didn't work. Anyways, I'm going to go to Jelamoka's suggestion. Jelamoka says OM. So OM is a really, really, really interesting move. And I'll get back to that move in a bit. So the idea is OM. And if opponent just plays something like this, play Haw. And now you're setting up Tux and Thaw. The problem is opponent can just do this and block. But you can still win. If you play X, then they miss they miss non. But again, they're not going to miss this. You play none, then you play ut, and you win. The problem again is your opponent's going out. Your opponent's going out. They're blocking you and then they're going out. So if instead of X, you play Ax, then they play the N, then you play ut, it's a tie. You see that? Brilliant. This is a brilliant sequence. OM. Anyways, we'll get back to OM in a bit. That's obviously not the only thing that can happen. Um, in any case, so when you're playing the endgame out in your head, and you seem to see everything that your opponent can do to win, you then have to qualify the difficulty that they might have in seeing certain plays, in order to ascertain the best route forward. And this is only in endgames that are unwinnable. And when we say an unwinnable endgame, sometimes we're just saying there's no way. There's absolutely no way to win. Sometimes we mean it's lost, because we can know for sure if an endgame is lost, given that we have full information, given that all the plays are available, and it's just a math equation. So to me, at a certain point in this endgame, when I saw light bin, I was like, okay, this has to be an unwinnable endgame for me. There's just too many ways for Barbara to win, no matter what happens. Like, and then obviously before you do that, you want to calculate what happens if you play Ohm, like I said earlier, but we saw that lost. So once I see that loses, there's nothing left to do. So you can't do that. So grill is an easy play to spot. You know that opponent can spot this play. So you might want to do something like OHM here. And that was one of the suggestions in the YouTube comments. Guy in the YouTube comments wanted to play OHM here. And that puts us down 22 points. Now, obviously, this again loses to Lipin. But let's say opponent doesn't know or doesn't see Lipin. Most likely doesn't know Lipin. And maybe they don't want to play liner. Maybe they don't want to play, or maybe they're unsure of niner. But if they don't want to play liner or niner, maybe they'll want to play inner. And if they play inner, they're going out next turn. They have IL. And we can't do anything. We're dead. Game over. So, same person suggested maybe HM. Again, if they play through the E, game is over. What if they don't? Maybe they want to play something here, like LI, or maybe they just want to play like Gil or something. That's great for us. It gives us an X spot. And then they play inner and they still win. So the problem is, what if they don't want to do something one turn? They might want to do it the next turn. So even if, like, ideal scenario, they somehow play Gil or Girl, giving us a great spot for our X, they can still win. They have Linen. They have all these plays through this E. This E is so annoying. So you then, if you get to this point, and this has taken us, what, 15 minutes to get to this point? I only had 4 minutes in this endgame, by the way. But yeah, you might want to try and block. That's true. You can block. Is there a way to block effectively? Not really. But you can do something like I don't know what you'd do. I honestly like it's it's really, really difficult to block. And the more you sacrifice to block your opponent, Gertzy, welcome back, the more you're falling behind. So they play none, then we play this, then they just go out, and it's game over. So yes, of course, you want to look at every sequence and look at reversing the move order of said sequences, just so that you can maybe interfere more with your opponent. But this isn't, oh, move the P to 6C. Yeah, I did want to do that actually during this game. So we see that ohm and HM, even if best case scenario arises, it's not gonna do it for us. There's just too many ways for us to still lose after that. And by the way, OHM, that was my first consideration. Um, I was looking at OHM like, okay, well I can do this. I can score with the X, and maybe Barbara will make moves that really mess her up. Yeah, it's this is I'm trying to I'm trying to like make it as like not as heavy as it could potentially be. Like if I were analyzing this endgame with Jalamokas, for example, and anybody just walked by and tried to listen to what we were saying, their brain would melt. So I'm trying to not dumb it down, but try to make it less heavy on all of these terminologies and all of these things that seasoned players know about, and just try and put you in the position of this endgame. Down 53 points. Basically, what is it that you want to do? You want to interfere with your opponent's thought process. That is the number one thing you want to do. If they have an idea of what they want to do, and it's a good idea, you want to interfere with it. If they have an idea of what they want to do and it's not a good idea, you want to induce that idea. So I'm putting myself in Barbara's head, and I'm just like, okay, what would Barbara be looking at here? Grill, maybe playing through the E, maybe playing somewhere over here, and that's about it. So if that's what Barbara's thinking, grill, I like her playing grill, because what grill does, I could keep my O and my X, and if she wants to play grill, that gives me 32 points. So maybe that's great. Maybe I want her to play grill. So if I want her to play grill or girl or something, then I want to play over here first. That's the first thing I want to do. I want to block all these other ideas, except Lipin, because Lipin is just unstoppable. Lipin is just, you win. If you see Lipin, it's game over, no matter what. Yeah, already lost on time, exactly. But I have to tell you guys that I had this thought process that I'm trying to describe to you, and I had 4 minutes to sort through this thought process, and I almost got there. I almost got there. Or maybe I did get there. Oh my god, I'm so bad at this. I lost, okay? I lost. I lost this game. I lost this game. So Jalamoka says thaw. You play thaw, and then they play grill, then you play locks. Look at this. You're down 3 points. What's the problem though? Again, this E. This E. This pesky E. 9 and out. I know it's not 9, it's 6, but it's also 9. 6, 9. Very nice. 9 for 6. You lose. So instead of playing locks, what if you try to block? Again, let's say I play mutt to block. Or no, I play emu. Or I play rum. No, I play emu. All right, you successfully blocked 9. But what happens now? Lin. And now you can play ox here and lose. That's it. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. So all these things are happening. It's like this. What if this happens? What if this happens? Oh, this doesn't work. Oh, this might work if this happens. So this could potentially work. Yeah. Mind blown. Yeah, good one. Thank you. So Again, at all points, all things are pointing to having to block this E. There are many ideas in the position. One of those ideas is Haw. And Haw, what does that do? That sets you up for next turn. They play Grill. You play Tux. They play 9. Still lose. So, what is Haw doing? Again, you're trying to induce an error. But what error can they make? If I play Haw, and then she tries to block maybe with Li, what do I have now? Nothing. Game's over. I've just played for 9 points and she's played for 7. I've made no progress. She's blocked me. Maybe you want her to phony. Maybe you want to set something up that creates a potential for her to phony. I didn't see anything like that. So Haw, you don't want to play Haw on the first move. You absolutely don't want to play Haw on the first move. But it's an interesting idea. In any case, I considered playing Oma. Now, by playing Oma, you're keeping the Haw possibility alive. You're also keeping the Thaw possibility alive. If you play Oma, then she plays Grill. Well, there is no outplay. There's no place to play INN. So I can potentially do what I want here. But the problem is she's going out in 2 moves. So I don't have time. I'd want to play Haw, but again, if she doesn't block, she plays Lin, we win. So that's a potential way to win the game. That is a potential way to win. Play Thaw. She plays Lin. You go XU. It's a tie. Again, we get this position where there's a tie in the position. These endgames are as deep as the Marianas Trench. There are so many lines. Tax idea. Tax idea. Yeah, so what Jelmox is saying is if I play tax instead, and then let's say she plays Lin, and I play we lose. So that doesn't quite work either. But these are all the things that are going on. So what do? You just doesn't seem like there's anything left to do. There was another suggestion in the YouTube comments of playing Ox, and they said E4, but I think they meant O4. So if we play Ox here, and Barbara plays Grill, then we might have something. Because if we play Haw, she has 9 to go out. So we can't do that. But again, we can try this. Try this idea again. I think we already looked at this, but it doesn't work. Thaw. This is just too easy. But what if we do this instead? And then she plays Lin. Then we have Thaw, and we win. So, I think it was Matt Zalesnik in the YouTube comments was onto something. Look at this sequence. This could very much happen. This could very much happen in the endgame. I start off with Ox, or Ox here, even. Ox here, the problem is, let's look at the same sequence. She'll really want to play Grill now, because it gives her 10 extra points. Then we do Mon. And then she plays. Where is she going to play? The problem is she plays here, we lose, right? Because it blocks Thaw. Maybe she's going to play Nan. And we still win with Thaw. So this could very well have worked. The sequence should start with Mon. You're right, WTF. I thought you were an understanding. Because again, we want to put all the ideas together. Every single idea that might work, we want to put it together in the best possible sequence. So if we play Mon, then we're pretty much inducing the play of Grill. And once again, I will mention the winning play in all of these ideas is Lipin. I can't stop her from going out. ERN, RAN, NOR. I can't do anything. So Lipin is always going to win in these situations. Let's say Grill. Now I can do locks. And now, let's say even if she plays IN here, oh, this comes just short. If we play F, comes up just short. So if she plays IN, we still lose. So even though we got this far, there's still something that ruins us. But she has to spot it. But this is pretty easy to spot. But if she does play Nan, we win. We win by a lot. And how do you go from losing by 53 when you have 7 letters, your opponent has 6 letters, to winning by 18? Sorcery. Sorcery. But it just shows how much life exists in Scrabble positions. This is the first time, by the way, that I've tried to like do this sort of study session with everybody. So if there's something you're not getting, feel free to let me know. But yeah, Mon seems like the best try. Because if now they play Grill, we don't have to play locks. We can play Thaw first and prevent this block from happening. And then after Lin and Ox, we win. So this is the most likely, I would say, from what I've found in this position, this is the most likely path to victory. Because your opponent has to be really, really, really careful. The only win in this position, I think, is either a word is either in here right now, seeing the future, seeing what's going to happen. Like, no, I can't allow Thaw to happen here. Or Lipin. I don't think there's any other win. I mean, we can check. Okay, there are lots of wins. I mean, okay, but all of these, they're all kind of similar. So anything blocking Rin or In or Lin and Nil, like all these block. So this is like the same thing. And then there's Gyron. Because Gyron prevents Thaw from happening. You want to go out after Gyron, you have LIN. So you're threatening to go out here. And if I play Thaw, whoops, I have the X. Lint. I lose by 32 points. So Gyron is a nice way to win. And then, yeah, then there's everything that involves Lipin. So Lipin first, which is obviously the best. And then Nor or Ran. I'm pretty sure Earn works too. What happens after Earn? I don't have a win here, do I? Wow. Oh my goodness. You've got to be kidding me. throw, then your best play is lint, and then I go out. Oh my goodness. Win by 2. That's crazy. So even if, yeah, that's just totally insane. But if she plays Earn, I still have to pretty much assume she's not going to see Lipin. Unless I see this throw crazy sequence, which just wins. Anyways, so the only way to win after Mon is to either go out in 2, which involves Lipin, or this really cool Gyron idea. Not only preventing thaw from happening, just like a cold spring day prevents thaw from happening, but also setting up to play Lin next turn if I do nothing. So Gyron is great. Anyways, Mon looks like the best play. Mon looks like the best play. Now, when you have 4 minutes left, which again, I do not recommend having 4 minutes left in an endgame, in any endgame. Endgames are tough. They might not be difficult if you know what you're doing, if you're able to see everything, but they're extremely tedious at times. They're math. It's math. You have to do all these calculations. Do I have the score sheet here? I showed in the YouTube video. Look at these calculations. They make no sense. They're just numbers, but this is me calculating lines. I did it also in this other game against Michael. I did even more calculation against Michael because I had the time to. Look at all this. Look at all these numbers. Can you believe this? What am I, like? It's the sort of thing you would see on like a completely bored child's paper, homework paper. Gurchi. That is the most fascinating thing about Scrabble, is it's not a word game. It's not. It's a math game. At its very core, it is a math game. The words are secondary to the math. The words are the playing pieces. You need them to exist to play the game. But without the math, there's nothing. There's nothing at all. So, what have we learned? In endgames like these, where you have an H, an M, an X, you have some nice vowels, and your opponent has 6 disgusting 1-point letters. Even if you're down 53, you can potentially win this endgame. You have all of the firepower. Opponent has none of the firepower. And you have tricks. Setup plays that set yourself up, like Haw. Setting up Thaw. Those are incredibly important in these endgames. And you have to see them. And sometimes you don't want to play them, but sometimes they allow you to win just by being there. The threat stronger than the execution. Your opponent having to stave off these threats and allowing you to do something else. It's this very interesting dance. Anyways, I think those were the 3 YouTube comments. The suggestion of phonying, which, let's say I did get away with Pode. And the problem with this is blocks grill. So what if she plays inner? What do I do? What's my best play here? Thaw. I still lose. I still lose after this beautiful play that doesn't actually make a valid word in Pode. So how many ways are there to win after this? And that's another thing. You have to ask yourself, how many ways are there to win? If there are only 5 ways to win, and they're all the same sort of idea, playing 4 letters off and going out next move, and scoring almost nothing, this might work. The problem is you're interfering with your opponent's thought process. This play, however good it might look, 43 points, and it creates a phony word that Barbara certainly would have challenged. But even if she wouldn't have, it's interfering with what she's looking at, Grill. And how do you know that she's looking at that? You don't. You have to assume. So when I saw her in this game, 4 minutes left, having 3 tiles off to one side of her rack and 3 tiles off to another, I was like, okay, what 3-letter word could she be thinking of? Quickly, Josh, hurry up. You have 4 minutes left. Can't waste too much time. I'm like, okay, she's thinking of grill. So how do I allow her to play what she wants to play and still win? And it's not by blocking it. Even if this were a valid move, I wouldn't want to play it, because I would know that it's changing the course of what her mind is going through. And when the play is blocked, it's like, okay, well, let me think of other things. And then maybe she'll see, oh, why don't I just play off 4 letters and go out next move? Maybe. Anyways, very interesting stuff. So, what happened? Obviously, what actually happened in this game is important. So I first considered playing OHM in this spot. That didn't seem to work. And then I saw Ha, and I'm like, okay, well, I can play Ha, but if she blocks, I've accomplished nothing. What else do I do? I really want to block this E. I can't block Lipin. That's not going to work. I really want to block this E. So how can I leave this threat on the table? So I did consider OM, which is what Jelamoka's suggested. The problem with OM is I calculated that if I play OM and she plays grill, I still lose. If I play Ha, even if I don't play Ha, I think I calculated tax and then that didn't work. She could just block. Of course, if she doesn't block, I win. So it was still a thing, like it's still a thing to consider. But I never saw Mon, I don't think. And had I seen Mon, I bet you guys I would have won the game. I had 6 seconds left when I played Ha. I was really upset. I'm like, this is not going to work. It's just not going to work. So I played Ha too quickly, too early. The threat was not a threat. It was created instead of threatened. She played for 7 here, LI, and next I played Oma, and then she played Nan, and now she has RI, so she has girl and she has Rip, rest in peace. And so I played X. This was all within like a few seconds. She played girl, and she won by 29. So this is what actually happened. Should have waited till 3. Yeah, maybe. So yeah, she was able to block. She made a really good block. This might be this isn't the only way to win. She can still go out in 2, of course. But it's the best because it just completely stops me in my tracks. I've just scored, like I said, I've just scored 9 points. She's just scored 7 points. She's had 51 points after this. What am I supposed to do now? I've just used 2 tiles that could be used for scoring, and she's blocked. So yeah, I ran out of ideas. I had no idea what to do, and I played Ha, just hoping she wouldn't block. But if she doesn't block, she can still win. I was just still hoping she would play grill. If she plays grill here, I win. I play Tux or Mutt. Oh my god. Wait, Tux doesn't win? Oh my goodness. Okay. I thought Tux for 60 doesn't win. Oh, because it doesn't block the out, remember? Yeah, that's what we were talking about. Anyway, so I have to play Mutt to block 9. She plays Lynn, and I play Ox. And this would have won, but that's not what happened. I played Ah, and she blocked. I played Oma. She played Nan. I played X. She played Girl. So good game. This was the first game in the Canton tournament that I lost after winning the first 11 games, playing the person in last place. I ended up losing. So well done to Barbara. The rest of the game was pretty bad for me. I chickened out of a bingo, Lord like, and then I couldn't recover. I also missed better version of this play of Prague, and everything else was very difficult because of my earlier mistakes. So that's the game. Thanks everybody for tuning in to the stream.